Now it's my great pleasure to introduce our first keynote speaker. Rebecca Walkowitz received her PhD from Harvard University in the year 2000. She first joined the English department at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Then, in 2007, she took up a position as Associate Professor of English at Rutgers University. Though relatively early on in her career, Walkowitz has earned both an ACLS fellowship and a fellowship at the National Humanities Center here in North Carolina. One reason why she has acquired these signs of distinction is her field-changing book, Cosmopolitan Style. Before it appeared on the scene, modernist studies and postcolonial studies were still two different fields. One committed to the aesthetic innovations of early 20th century novelists, writing in one of the Western national literary traditions, the other created by fiction that reshaped those same traditions to express the political hopes and aspirations of writers opposed to imperial domination. Walkowitz saw this as a false opposition and sought to disarm it by calling attention to what she describes as cosmopolitan style. A cosmopolitan style, as she puts it, is also a modernist style. It registers the limits of perception and the waning of a confident epistemology. Walkowitz reads Conrad, Joyce, and Woolf in terms of three different affects. These affects, naturalness, triviality, and evasion, allow alternative distinctions to emerge and form collectivities on the basis of culture rather than place. In the second half of the book, she turns to Ishiguro, Rushdie, and Sebald, three writers whose fiction testifies to the revival of modernist cosmopolitanism at the end of the 20th century. So historicized, modernism survives into the 21st century to be reborn in so-called world literature. Literature that doesn't seem to come from a place, at least not one in the present tense. In doing so, such literature converges rather than competes with post-colonial literature. In mounting this argument, Walkowitz remapped a field extending modernism from the early 20th century into the 21st century. Walkowitz's writing and editing has infused modernist studies with renewed intellectual energy and inspired a new generation to move from what was formerly the prophylactic enclosure of modernism to a radically heterogeneous, imagined community. Since the publication of Cosmopolitan Style, Walkowitz has delivered a series of papers and published about a half a dozen articles that lay out the argument of her new book-length project, which has the working title Born Translated, the contemporary novel in the age of world literature. By this title, she means to take up contemporary fiction that was written with translation in mind. This new transnational fiction defines itself in opposition to such signature modernist features as aesthetic seriousness, semantic difficulty, textual autonomy, and critical mastery. She sees certain Anglophone novelists emphasizing instead features that can survive translation: narrative structure, characterization, and units larger than the word. In this way, she is arguing, writers situated all over the world are writing within as well as against a tradition of reading that privileges modernist technique as the ultimate expression of individuality. From this brief introduction, it should be clear that in introducing her, I am not reviewing someone's past accomplishments, however worthy. Instead, I'm introducing the future in the form of a new generation of arguments that Rebecca Walkowitz has made possible. Her talk this afternoon is titled Writing in Translation. Please join me in welcoming her.